beautiful Wednesday night. Fantasy Wolf Pack. The pack. Run with the pack. Hashtag it. Something with it. Bling it. I don't know. I'm not tech savvy. I don't know, but it's me. It's Jeff. Special guest. Hanging out with us Wednesday night. You love him on Sundays. It's Clay.
Yo, yo, yo.
There you go. We got Pat, the producer, doing the job behind the scenes, and you'll hear him talk here and there. Padu, what's up?
What's shaking, gentlemen?
That's right. And on Skype tonight, we hope you can hear him. It is the great. Well, I don't want to say he's great because I got second in the Dynasty WOLFPACK DFS. Chris finished like 18th out of 17, I think. So I am the new DFS master.
Now, is that not calling the other WOLFPACK members out? I thought we had a rule against that.
Ignore
Wait,
what I just said.
We have rules in the WOLFPACK?
The WOLFPACK has no rules. No. Very smart, DFS expert, all-around great guy, awesome with fantasy football. It's Chris Kennedy from Martha's Vineyard. What's up, Chris?
How's it going, guys? Great to be here on this lovely Wednesday evening. And, Jeff, I will want to point out that while I did finish, I think, dead last or second to last in our group, I did take down a showdown, a GPP showdown of about 10,000 people. I did come in first place, so that was a nice little redemption for me.
So you see, he would have come in second place if I was in that, because I beat him by like 17.
That's
slots.
true. Yeah, maybe 4.
Maybe 4. No, that's awesome, dude. That's a good pick, man. So let's go to anyone on this. Any thoughts on Sunday?
First off, you got to make sure you invite everybody to the contest that's going to be held this week.
Oh, Chris, you want to talk about the DFS this week? Where to find it? Everything like that?
Yeah, absolutely, you guys. So this is something that we're going to be running every single week. So be sure to check out the DynastyWise Sports Facebook page because I will be posting a link there usually by Wednesday of each week. So if you go to the page now, it'll be right near the top of the page. All you do is click the link, select your lineup, and enter the contest. And hopefully we can get a good showing. Last week I think we had about 18 people, and we'd love to get some more listeners into the contest for this week. So please join up and see if you can beat the WOLFPACK.
That's right. Is he here? Is
Off,
Super Mario here? No, that's his music.
First off, you can't beat me. No, I'm just kidding. DFS is definitely not my specialty, but I had some killers in my lineup. I went like really cheap, and it paid off pretty decently actually.
Yeah, hey, the WOLFPACK told you Sunday to start Will Fuller, and if you didn't, sorry, you should listen to us on that one because 1, we're from Houston, 2, we're just good all around, and 3, we want you to have success. We want to talk about something else that I might have said, that Michael Gallup sucks, and he got 7 for 113 and a TD, but he won't do that all year, so I'm going to stand by my statement.
So, yeah, you got burned. At least you're man enough.
I'll admit it.
Well, I don't know if we can say you're man enough, but at least you'll own it that you failed.
You can admit that you were wrong and that I was right.
Yes.
Don't push it, Chris.
Don't push it. 18th place.
I was like 17th, maybe 16th.
Don't push it. 16th still
Well,
sounds
like
horrible.
Ricky Bobby says, if you ain't first, you're last.
Yeah.
And I keep looking at Chris. I should be looking at the
I know.
listener.
See, Chris is on a video over here, so we won't look at him. We try not to talk over one another. So until Chris moves down here to Texas and we allow him to move to Texas, then, yeah, if you catch us looking over here, it's because we're looking at Chris. But yeah, join the Daily Fantasy on our DynastyWise Sports Facebook page. It's free to enter. Set your lineup. Click enter. DraftKings might try to throw you a loop. He was like, oh, here, put in $20. Once you hit enter, you're fine. I mean, you're more than welcome to join DraftKings. It's one of the top sites out there. So yeah, join us. There was, I believe, 18. I got second. I only lost to a guy that actually uses professional help. So I think, moral victory. I was first.
What do you mean uses professional help?
I believe Chris spilled the beans on Shava that he goes against, like he doesn't really do the lineup. he goes and like gets professional help.
Like
Right, Chris?
from Chris?
No, not for me. But Jeff, you are pretty much like professional help, so you helped yourself.
I
So
am.
that's a great victory in second place.
That's why it's a moral victory. I didn't have to like,
Right.
whatever. But I don't blame him.
But
if you
Don't worry,
need help,
We'll
yes.
get you a participation trophy. Don't worry.
For second place, I want a bigger trophy. It's awesome. I've never finished. I
Yeah.
never finished in
If
the
you ain't
medals.
first, you're last.
Yeah, see, Jeff's all about participation trophies.
I know,
Unfortunately,
thank
that's
God.
not what it's about. But you know, professional help.
I believe Chris spilled the beans on Shava that he goes against.
Participation.
Replay. Sorry,
Trophy,
excited
don't
to hear
worry.
my awesome voice, but I finally made the medal, the medal stand or whatever. First time in 47 years, I finally got up there on the podium.
You know what, Jeff? I got something for you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Got a little comment from Raul.
Raul boy.
He made a comment. Should Chris be trusted since he finished 16th place? Like he mentioned, though, Chris finished he's finished top 1% in a lot of other places.
He finished first place in a field of 10,000. So yes.
Yeah, I think I
It was,
trust.
yeah, it was pretty good.
I trust Chris's judgment on a lot of things.
But not with my wife.
No, I trust him to run illegal alcohol. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I don't trust him driving over a bridge. Raul boy, you might have a point.
Welcome back.
Raul, yeah, we missed you on Sunday, buddy.
Yep. Got a comment from Miss Stephanie Miller, or
Hey.
sorry, Stephanie Martin.
Hey, Stephanie.
Good evening, guys. Never keeping Fuller on my bench again.
I'm sorry, Stephanie, but
We
we
told
told
you.
you so.
Kick her out of the group. No, I'm just kidding, Stephanie.
No, it's all right. It happens.
Yeah.
But she said never keeping him on her bench again. Do y'all believe it was a matchup? That's what got him the points this week, all around the table.
Well, if you watch Deshaun's post game about the Atlanta Falcons defense, basically wide receivers can just run around and do whatever they want, is what he said. So it was matchup, but it's also Will Fuller and Deshaun Watson do have a connection, and so as long as Will Fuller's healthy, he's a dangerous threat.
Yeah, obviously he's not going to duplicate. Yeah, there's a chance he could duplicate, but that was a really, really great game. He's not going to duplicate that most likely. He's going to get injured eventually and be out for the year. So, yeah, I'd play him, but, as Clayton said, the Atlanta defense isn't great. I think their coach Quinn is going to be fired after this season.
Possibly. I talked to an Atlanta fan. I was like, are y'all going to fire Quinn? And he goes, oh, I hope not. I was like, what?
Well, I know who you're talking about, and he's not very bright.
True.
So, but hey,
Corey.
I know. Will Fuller has that dynamic, and when they're going to double team Hopkins, it's going to happen. Now the question is, when Kenny Stills comes back, how is Fuller going to be used? Chris, what are your comments on Will Fuller's outstanding weekend, and is it going to be, should they keep him on always keep him in the lineup?
No, I think he's definitely a matchup dependent wide receiver. If you look at his stats, the first 4 games of the season, he averaged maybe 7 or 8 fantasy points every game, and with last week just being a complete anomaly, I think again because of that that pass funnel defense that he was going up against. It's certainly something you're going to want to look at the matchups. It's not someone I would just plug into my lineup every single week.
I think a couple of years ago, Clayton went there and did the legwork, and Fuller was averaging better than. All right, don't freak out. He was averaging better than Antonio Brown when Antonio Brown was actually playing. He's got the potential. I just, he really hadn't shown it much this year. It's just we just knew this is the matchup. He is good to go off on a couple of games.
Yeah.
The potential's there.
That's elite speed he has. And what's underrated about Will Fuller is his route running is actually pretty damn
It's
good.
improved greatly, yeah.
His catching's still suspect because he almost dropped a touchdown.
Well, he's not Nelson Aguilar.
But, yeah, he is more matchup. But, like I said, it's going to be interesting offense whenever, especially with Kenny Stills when he does come back healthy. learns the offense more. I think you have a very potent offense down here in Houston, which is already pretty decent. Second in red zone, I think, efficiency already.
Nice.
Anywho,
let's go. Let me bring up everything. Super Mario is here.
what about
And Gino Petruzzi, what's up, buddy? Let's see, what else got? How do you guys feel about Baby Chark? Chris,
Dude.
I'll go to you. How do you guys feel about Baby Chark? Is he plug and play, or do you worry about the matchup this weekend versus Mr. Let me bring up everything. Sorry for the echo if you heard it.
No, I think that as long as Gardner Minshew is the starting quarterback, then DJ Chark is definitely a guy that you can depend on as being a wide receiver 2 almost every single week. Minshew and Chark have great chemistry, and actually this week I really think that DJ Chark should be matched up against Eli Apple, just because Lattimore I don't think is going to be shadowing Chark. So if he does get matched up against Eli Apple, he's got a really, really nice matchup. Apple gives up like 11 yards per target, and he's also been allowing a catch rate of 71, 72%. So
yeah, 71.8%.
You know, be confident with DJ Chark plugging him in as a wide receiver 2 this week.
All right, good. I'll start him this week.
So what you're saying is those numbers by Eli Apple aren't very good, or are those elite cornerback numbers? I need to know.
No, those are. Let's put it this way: Marshawn Lattimore was supposed to get burnt by Mike Evans last week and didn't. So I think you're going to see Lattimore on D.D. Westbrook this week, and you'll see Apple on DJ Chark.
Yeah, but Lattimore did have he was giving up like the most yards by a cornerback prior to last week, or right up there in the top couple corners, if I'm not mistaken.
He was actually, for the season, he's given up over 400 receiving yards and a couple of touchdowns already this year.
Yeah, but it seems like going against Mike Evans, he might be rounding into form. But as a dynasty guy, I'm glad to see Chark. I knew he had the talent. I've been waiting for him. And D's another one. I think D.D. Westbrook, he's a really good receiver, and that's why Lattimore is going to be on D.D.
Absolutely.
Westbrook.
I'm a big fan of D.D.
I'm a big fan of Chark. That's why I drafted him, and he was on my bench last year, or my practice squad. I mean, he didn't do nothing last year, but now
Blake Bortles.
he's shown.
He got Bortles.
That's a good point.
Exactly.
But hey, Thursday night football. It's the current champions. Wait.
Reigning Super Bowl champions, yeah.
Right.
They are reigning. Like
versus their
that's
nemesis.
Right.
Their nemesis.
So Booker T goes 5 times. So what are they? 7 times. Or what are they?
6 time?
Are they 6 times?
How many rings have y'all won, Chris? The Patriots?
6.
6.
Gold.
6 rings.
Is that over the Steelers? Did the Steelers have 6 or they have 5? Did we know?
I thought the Steelers and Cowboys have 5. Maybe the Steelers have 6, but I know the Cowboys have 5.
I don't think the Cowboys have 5.
Yeah.
Who
No?
them boys?
They've looked a little rough, huh? After starting out, everybody's like, oh, Cowboys winning it all.
Yeah, there were certain people who were talking the praises of Dak Prescott on Twitter. So I don't know if they are anymore.
Who?
Can't say.
I know what you're talking about. Dak Prescott's had a great season. I mean, he had a good week last week, so he's someone that's going to get you at least 20 fantasy points a week.
Yeah.
Who?
Dak.
Oh, you're full of baloney.
I don't know, because they were down like, 31-3, and then he's basically just throwing the ball. That's garbage time stats.
I mean,
with Matt Ryan. But, I mean, that's good for fantasy, but.
Right. I mean, I made a trade for Matt Ryan. I mean, he's been horrible football-wise, like you're saying. But for fantasy-wise, like you said, it's like, okay.
5,000, 28 touchdowns.
I don't care if he threw for 397 yards.
Exactly.
Half of a quarter, half of the third and the fourth, you know.
Yeah, I don't care that he lost. My fantasy team won.
They lost 58-21. He threw 2 TDs. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Not my team. Or it is my team, but not my team. So
But yeah, back to the Thursday night game.
Chris, your nemesis, the Patriots' nemesis. Did they roll Eli Manning out, the Brady killer?
Or Eli Manning the second.
Eli the second.
His clone.
People are turning off.
Oh, gosh, yeah, no.
Chris, preview this matchup for us while I take a nap.
the reason why people are turning off of Daniel Jones is because they realize that he's an average quarterback and he gets exposed when he plays defenses that aren't absolutely terrible. So, I mean, going up against the Patriots, who are the best defense in the league, doesn't matter if it's against the run or the pass, they're top 2 in both run and pass DVOA. The Giants have a ton of injuries on their side. Obviously, no Saquon Barkley, who they're going to give another week of rest to.
Which is bullshit.
And Gallman's
no
out.
Wayne Gallman, no Sterling Shepard, no Evan Ingram. So their starting receivers are going to be Cody Latimer and Darius Slayton, and their starting running back is going to be Jonathan Hilliman, who I think I've said that name once in my entire life.
Hell yeah!
And it was just now.
Waiver wire.
It was just now.
Time to hit the waiver wire. I'm thinking this has got upset written all over it. Their Patriots are going to be overlooking the Giants, and I think Danny Jones is coming in there. Christopher, are you ready? Are you going to cry? No, I'm just kidding. It's going to be a slaughter. The Giants are going to get slaughtered on the field.
Just a comment. Yeah, go ahead, Pat.
I will.
Go ahead, Chris.
I will say this: the weather. There actually are some weather concerns for tomorrow night because right now here in Massachusetts we have some pretty high winds, gusts probably up to about 50, 60 miles an hour. There's going to be a lot of rain. So
Whoa.
tomorrow night, you're probably going to see a lot of running throughout the game. It's going to be a little bit of a tough conditions for the kickers, and you won't see as many deep passes being thrown. So I think that guys like James White, Julian Edelman will be heavily featured, as well as Golden Tate on the other side for the Giants. I think you're going to see a lot of short passes.
Quick shout out to Super Mario Flores. Adam Thielen and Chris Godwin came through for him last week. That's good, man. Awesome. We like hearing about y'all's successes, especially if we tell you.
Yeah.
If like we tell you and they don't have success, just don't join. Just stay away.
Definitely tell Jeff every time.
Right.
He
Well, Jeff
goes
has
through-
been hitting very high. He told you about Gallman. He told you about Fuller. I've been a Gallman fan
It
since he
doesn't
came
count.
out of Rutgers.
That is true. Me and
well,
Jeff
he
had
didn't
it-
come out of
No, he
Rutgers.
came out-
He was Clemson.
Yeah. I would say no. We did have the conversation. Me and you did have a
We
conversation
did.
about Gallman.
Like 3 years ago at the Pulaski Christmas party extravaganza is what we have. You're welcome to it, Chris.
And we said we would have taken Dalvin Cook number over Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, you were very much, and I was right there with you. Yeah, so
Which has been debatable
You know.
up until this year.
that's right.
Injuries, but we knew, when healthy, we knew Cooksters was going off.
I'm loving Dalvin Cook, but I am just waiting for that injury, But what about Darius? Is it Darius Slayton, Chris? He showed up last week as a wide receiver for the Giants.
Yeah, Darius Slayton is not a guy I'm going to plug into my lineup. I mean, unless you're in a deep 16 or 18 team league, I'm not going near Darius Slayton.
All right.
Well, that's not nice, Chris.
What did Darius do to
It's-
you?
But it hurts.
That's true. The truth does hurt.
Hey, what's up, Javier Zarazua?
Just go with the first names.
I like.
Quit. I know, but quit saying last names. You're making
No.
me look stupid.
Oh, that's fine then. All right. Javier Z says.
Who's that?
I'll call him Javi.
Javi. I'm having doubts of who I should start at wide receiver 2. I have Calvin Ridley, Cooks, Diggs, Golden Tate. They're still on waivers. DJ Moore, Jamison Crowder. Thanks in advance, guys. All right, so he wants to start at WR2. He has Ridley, Cooks, Diggs, Golden Tate. He could pick up Moore or Crowder. What say you, Chris?
I'm staying away from Stephon Diggs until he can actually have the ball thrown away by Kirk Cousins. I do like DJ Moore's matchup, though, with Kyle Allen at a quarterback. It seems like Curtis Samuel has been his favorite target. So against an Arizona secondary that is still without Patrick Peterson, I'm going to roll with Calvin Ridley. I think this Atlanta-Arizona game could be
Yes.
quite the shootout.
Let's not forget that. Pew, pew, pew. Oh, yeah.
I didn't know if we were still doing that.
Heck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Javier. So it's Javier Spanish. He's saying it's Spanish. Ha, ha.
Sometimes I need
Okay.
to go
No.
before Chris, so that way I don't always go, I agree with you, Christopher.
Right?
So he can agree with me.
People
sometimes.
shouldn't forget that Samuels wasn't like a 5th-round guy. He was a 2nd-round draft pick.
Yeah.
So, he's high. But I think we're all going to agree with Chris Kennedy on that. I'm definitely probably going to have Ridley in my lineup just because it is the Arizona.
He is in one of my lineups, faux show, my Yahoo lineup.
So, Javier, go put in Ridley. You know, I'm surprised G.J. Moore is on the bench. The waiver wire. But like Chris said, Samuels has been getting the catches, but DJ Moore, I mean, Samuels was second. He was a first-round pick.
DJ Moore, decent game. He's pretty consistent.
Right, yeah, he's pretty consistent.
PPR format.
Yeah. So, Javier Spanish. He says it's Spanish. I guess he's telling me how to pronounce his last name. Javier.
Don't worry about Jeff, Javier.
Okay.
We just let Jeff.
Okay, so I thank you, Javier. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you.
Wasn't there another question earlier from Stephanie?
She said,
maybe I'm just crazy.
Pat's
I thought I saw
screwing
something.
around. I saw Leonard Turley III. What's up, buddy?
I don't know what is that. Trey. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
All right, Gino Petruzzi, guitarist for Dream Theater, cousin of the guitarist from Dream Theater. Me, on the other hand, started Old Man Larry with that sexy matchup, wide receiver 2. I had to watch Chark, Allen Robinson, and Juju rack up the points on my bench. Facepalm. Ha, ha, ha. Well, Gino, I believe a couple of guys said start Old Man Larry. I believe you did and Chris did. Yeah. But Allen Robinson hasn't done much this year. Chris, go ahead.
No, and Gino, that was the right play, to be honest with you. I mean, Larry had a great matchup. He should have seen more targets than he did. So unfortunately, it was just it's a bad loss. But you want to play the matchups as you can, and it will work out over time. But unfortunately, it was just a couple of guys went off in certain situations that weren't predicted.
Right. So there you go, Gino.
I apologize.
For what?
Going with Larry.
My bad.
Going with Larry?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
I went against my gut.
I thought Larry had a
chart.
Did he not have a good game? I thought he did.
Not like those. Not.
No. Yeah, but Allen Robinson has done 0 this year. Juju hasn't done as much.
Yeah, Juju. I have Juju. I'm glad he finally did something, but damn.
So, I mean.
Yeah, Larry Fitzgerald only had 12 PPR points last week.
I feel your pain, Gino, because I like.
But did you win or lose?
Did you win or lose, Gino? Reply in the comments. But
anything over 10 though is something. I mean, depending on the situation. I mean, someone going off is basically 17 plus. But if I look at someone in. Go ahead.
54.
Oh my God.
I think for me personally, when I'm looking at PPR points from a wide receiver, I want my guy to get at least 15 points, especially if he's in my wide receiver 1 or 2 slot. He better be getting at least 15 points to have a good ROI.
I agree. 15 is kind of the median, but if I say 12 or 13, somebody's got to be making up some points. Another receiver. I know you guys can't see me on camera. Hold on, let me hit my button.
That's producer Pat.
Yeah. So, but I agree. That 15 is kind of the margin that you want to see for running backs and wide receivers. 10 is like hey, good job, buddy. You got a C today.
10's like if you start 3 wide receivers, maybe like a flex or something. Bye weeks if you're pulling some 10 points off.
Right.
Speaking of bye weeks.
Yes.
Just a reminder, folks. Buffalo, Chicago, Indianapolis, and Oakland are on bye this week.
Were y'all surprised that Oakland beat Chicago?
I was more surprised, and that's another thing I didn't call out. No, I did. That was my secret. That was my thing. I said,
secret.
But I did it. Well, it was my bold prediction, and I made it very cautiously. But I said start Josh Jacobs like that because I was really worried. But I was surprised. I was surprised that Chicago did that. I guess the travel to London was worse on the Bears.
No takebacks, partner.
Hey, if somebody listened to me, like, yeah, dude, I listened to Jeffro.
Yeah.
No,
well, I mean,
no one says that.
Looks like we got some more questions coming in, guys.
I know, I was getting to them, but we're bringing stuff up. Why don't you calm down over there?
No, thank you for bringing that to our attention, Chris.
I don't want our listeners to be waiting, you know?
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Mr. 18th place. James Sparrow. Hunter Henry coming back or Gerald Everett? Have to drop one to make space. Hunter Henry does nothing but get injured.
I actually ended up making a drop this week and picked up Gerald Everett. So If you decide to roll with Jared Everett, man, we are there together, Mr. James. Can I call you Jimmy?
I'm
think so.
a big Everett fan, and I think someone's gonna pick up Hunter Henry, but I don't know if he's ready. I think you gotta ride Everett. He's the option right now over there.
Mr. Chris Kennedy.
Yeah, Henry's not coming back this week. I know that there's talk about him potentially practicing.
Yeah,
But if you absolutely have to drop one of them and you don't have a wide receiver or running back that's underperforming that you can't drop, then certainly drop Henry because you need that slot. And I do think that Everett could finish as a top 10 tight end this week.
He goes by Jimmy, Pat.
Does he?
Yes.
All right, that's it. I'm calling him James. James, the man so nice to name him twice. That's from News Radio, in case you guys are listeners out
But
there.
why? You asked if you call him Jimmy. He goes, thanks, yeah. I go by Jimmy anyways.
All right, Jimmy.
all right, Jim.
How about we call him Jimmy James?
Jimmy James.
That sounds good.
I had a boss at Academy when I was a teenager. His name was Jimmy James. I was like, seriously?
Yeah.
I was like,
If his middle name was Roscoe, that'd been awesome.
That'd
Like,
been
Jimmy
sweet.
Roscoe James. So
bingo. Thank you, Jimmy, for chiming in, bub.
all right, Jay Browns, what's up, buddy?
Welcome back.
Lamar versus Cincy or Russell Wilson at Cleveland?
God, that's a great problem to have. That's two.
That
great
really
quarterbacks.
is a great problem to have.
I like the matchup of the Lamar, but I'm not sitting Russell Wilson.
Pat, you have Wilson. What do you say?
Yeah, I'm not sitting him.
Chris?
So I actually have Lamar Jackson as my number 2 overall quarterback this week. And for you guys that are listening, you can go to the DynastyWise Sports Facebook page and check out the Week 6 rankings that were just uploaded earlier today. I love Jackson's matchup against the Bengals. They have a terrible defense. And as much as I love Russell Wilson, the Baltimore Ravens have a higher implied total this week, so I think that they'll have more scoring opportunities.
I like it, man. I agree with you. And that's Cleveland's defense, well, I think they're going to get after Russell Wilson a little bit more, but I agree with you there, Chris. Good take.
Russell Wilson is Houdini, and he is elite.
He's a snake in a good way.
Honestly,
Slippery as a snake in a good way.
Like, if you had to root, he makes me root for like Seattle. But I know I'm a Texans fan down here, but man, I love Russell Wilson. I love Russell Wilson.
I do too. I'm rolling him and Tyler Lockett till the day they die.
My Yahoo league, that's my stat.
Yep.
In that mega league, and I'm trying to hold out without Saquon, and my playoffs start week 9.
All right, Jay Browns is a follow-up. It's a trade question, guys.
Hell yeah.
Hell
yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to trade Eckler and Fuller for Amari Cooper and tight end Hooper from Atlanta. Who wins that trade? Eckler and Fuller for Amari Cooper and Austin Hooper. Who wins that trade? Clay.
I would probably go Amari. You're selling Fuller high, and I think Eckler with Gordon coming back, see a reduced role. I'm not a big Hooper fan, but like I said, I think Amari is probably the best player in that trade.
Chris, who wins that trade?
Yeah, Amari's definitely the best player in that trade. I'm a little hesitant to move Austin Eckler, though, and I say that only because we don't know, how long it's going to take Melvin Gordon to get back into football playing shape, and Eckler is still a guy that's probably going to be playing that James White role for the Chargers. He's going to be getting, a lot of different targets. He's probably still going to be getting, 5 to 7 rushing attempts per game. So I think he still finishes the season as an RB2. So it really just depends on your running back and wide receiver situation currently. I would be hesitant to make that move, but if you need the upgrade at wide receiver, then yeah, pull the trigger and go for Cooper.
Okay, there you go. All right. What's up, Justin Miranda?
That sounds
What
familiar.
kind of caliber of a player can you get for DK Metcalf? I already have Lockett as my wide receiver 1. Depending on the league,
Yeah,
I would hold, if it's Dynasty, hold on to Metcalf or get some trades.
someone that's a big Metcalf fan.
Well, Metcalf is eventually gonna.
Yeah.
He's gonna develop and he's gonna be an animal. That guy's way too big and he's just way too powerful not to be. He's just the exact opposite of Tyler Lockett. You saw the comparison of those two. DK Metcalf is gonna have a lot of value, but it's just that it's a good question of who. Yeah, someone's gonna value him.
Yeah, caliber of player. That's a tough one. What do you think, Chris?
if you're going to sell DK Metcalf, wait for him to have his blowout, breakout game of the season, and then sell high on him. Because right now, unfortunately, you're not going to get a lot of value in return for him. Not in redraft formats. Dynasty, absolutely, but in redraft, I would just hold on to him and wait for that big breakout game, and then try to sell high on him because right now you might be able to get like a Golden Tate or a Marquez Valdez-Scantling in return for him.
Right. I mean, people are getting low on DJ Moore. Some people are not liking Ridley, but we've seen what Ridley can do. And I agree with Clayton a little bit. DK Metcalf came in 6'4", god, body of a god, Atlas.
Kind of built like me.
And, like Clay here. So, but
We're going to...
But yeah, I will. But sorry, something popped up.
I just can't even.
All right.
But yeah, so
Pat,
I would take what Chris is saying is just to stay with him until he has kind of a game. Maybe somebody comes to you. We also want to talk about our sponsors, Fantasy Go, fantasygo.com. What's up, David? We see you.
Yeah, actually, and David wanted to make sure. I'm glad he put a post on here. We definitely have to make sure we mention the new chat feature. So when you guys go in and y'all select your analyzer or analyst, sorry, analyzer, that's funny. But your analyst, you go in there and select your analyst, man. Go in there and there's a chat feature, so you can actually talk with your analyst and kind of figure out their reasoning of why they're selecting the way they are and which direction they plan on going. And if you don't want them to move in there, select them as an analyst and then have the chat with them. It's basically just breaking off into a chat room or a chat feature to be able to talk to them and say, hey, I would do this, this, and this. And that way you can make the moves or you don't have to make the moves depending on what you decide.
I'm excited about the chat feature personally.
I am too, man.
Because last time, I told the guy, like I said, it's new, so it's progressing, and I'm glad to be a part of that. But yeah, I'm excited because I left in the comment like, hey, I would also consider this, But the feedback is, I love it. I'm actually really excited about it.
I love fantasygo.com, and folks, it's just getting better and better each week. Check it out, sign up, get you, find yourself an analyst if you need help, like if you're going out of town or, God forbid, an emergency, or you just want help. Like that one guy, he knew Shava, the only way he knew to beat me was to go find some other experts. Luckily, he found someone who were just lucky that they beat me that week. That's why I came in second.
Or if the significant other is on your ass all the time, saying you're doing fantasy too much. Hey, this week I'm gonna sign it off to Padu, Claybo, Chris Kennedy, or Jeff Rowe over at DynastyWise and get them to take care of it. That's actually one of the things I got from one of my clients is that hey man, I'm gonna let it go this week. Yeah. That way, just do it for me. I have to spend time.
Out.
Yeah, I have to spend time and. It takes a lot of time, man. If you don't have time to do the background and the research, we make the time. We've already done it. So when we do the team, we play it how we basically adjust your team how we're playing ours.
It's what we do. This is what we do.
It's who I am.
Name that movie. He says, this is what I do. This is what I do. Name the movie. All right. Also, you can upload screenshots so you can talk potential trades all day long. It's a great place. Check out fantasygo.com. We highly advise you to do so.
And there is still a free trial going on right now. And also, when the free trial lets up, I'm not sure when the exact date that's going to happen. We're actually here at DynastyWise for these. You guys got to get into these DraftKings competitions because we're going to start giving some of those away where you can take a analyst for a week. Yep. And we're going to give a freebie away, man. So make sure you join in, and that's what y'all get for listening to the show.
That's right. Not only wins, but you get to learn about Fantasy Go. Listen to Gino Petruzzi's lineup. He's made some trades. His starting lineup now is Russell Wilson, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, and he's got Chubb. Damn. He's got Thomas and Evans and Chark, Juju at receiver, and then at tight end he's got Waller and Andrews. Damn. Well, Gino.
How?
Yeah.
How do you? I see you're playing with. All right, 1 year.
He manages more than one team in a league.
1 year I played with a Dallas Cowboys fan, and all he did was draft Cowboys. So I think I should take Emmitt Smith. I'm like, well, yeah. I think I should take Jay Novacek. I'm like, okay. Is Troy Aikman still there? Yes. I'm going to take Troy Aikman. And then, who are you playing against, Gino? Or do you have multiple teams?
Good for you, Gino. Good for you, man.
But he did trade. He had to make trades. He traded Bell away. He traded Carson, Allen, Robinson, Tevin Coleman. Had a good game. Woods and Fuller. So,
And then draft. Yeah, hey.
that's awesome.
Sell high when you can, and then you can get. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Gino, come on our show. You're an expert now.
Quick plug on the buys. Buffalo, Chicago, Indy, and Oakland are on bye this week.
Bye week.
And the Dolphins, as Stephanie Martin said, they're always on bye week. Them and the Redskins are always on bye week.
Boom!
Boom. And they're still not going to start
No.
Dwayne Haskins.
No.
Redskins analyst Ben Black says they shouldn't start him. He's not ready.
Yeah.
Then he said, "This team sucks. I hate football."
Whoa. He didn't say that.
Yes, he did.
He's an official analyst. He didn't say that.
He said that. Well, he's a Redskins fan, so he hates football
No,
right
that's
now.
true. I don't blame him.
Yeah, I know. All right, Jay Browns, pick one for flex. It's a PPR. Lindsey, Eckler, or Devontae Freeman. Let's go to you, Clay. PPR flex. Lindsey, Eckler, or Devontae Freeman. That's tough because Eckler gets a lot of catches out of that backfield.
But Lindsey been producing.
Right?
I'm going Lindsey.
All right, who are you
I'm
going
not
there?
second-guessing myself anymore.
All right, Lindsey. I'm leaning Devontae Freeman against the Cardinals, but Eckler is Eckler. I'm kind of torn between Eckler and Devontae Freeman. So let's go over here to Chris. Lindsey, Eckler, or Devontae Freeman?
I'm going to roll with Eckler going against the Steelers. Their implied total is going to be 24 points. And right now the Steelers are giving up about 104 rushing yards, but also 48 receiving yards to opposing running backs per game. So I think that receiving yardage that they give up is really going to benefit Eckler because, as you mentioned, Jeff, Eckler is really involved in the passing game. So I think that'll help him out.
Yeah, Eckler is – I picked him up 2 years ago because I didn't know who he was. I just watched him in preseason. He was just a, speed, agile, could do everything. I picked him up. I mean, even for an RB2 last year, he was like in the top 10 when they had Gordon. He slid down, but I mean, I wasn't starting him. I was like, I started him because of injuries to Cook and the idiot in Jacksonville who missed 8 games, punches a guy, so he misses another game. Moron. So, yeah, it's just, man, Eckler gets 7 carries, but he produces, man. If you don't start
And I will
Eckler,
say this,
yes?
not that I'm expecting this to...
Yeah, you talk. I guess your turn
I was
to
just
talk.
going to say, I'm not expecting this to happen again, but last week, the Chargers were down throughout a lot of the game, and they kept on throwing little dump-offs to
Right,
to Eckler.
thank you, Chris.
He ended up with 16 targets. He got 15 of them for only 86 yards, but he gets you 15 fantasy points, PPR points, just from his receptions alone. So, I mean, that's the kind of upside that he's going to give you. He's a guy that's probably going to be targeted 5, 6, 7 times a game, and he's going to catch most of them. So Eckler gives you that upside, especially going up against a team that really struggles against receiving running backs.
And that stat you gave, 15 receptions for 86 yards, is the exact argument against PPR.
I know, it's like, my guy got 3 catches for 1 yard. That guy got 3 points. Well,
Guys, are there any notable injuries that we definitely need to discuss this week?
Definitely Hunter Henry is practicing, but we don't know about him.
We lost Bradley Chubb.
Bradley Chubb
weeks ago.
went
I'm so
down a
sad.
couple of weeks ago. Most likely Saquon Barkley is not going to start. Shepard's in concussion protocol. Mason Rudolph looked funny on the sidelines without his mask.
He was
looked like a 1920s football player.
He was definitely knocked out.
He was knocked out, and Wayne Gallman, the backup to Saquon Barkley, is not playing. Chris, is there any that I didn't mention? Thank you, Chris.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
I mean, you mentioned just about everybody on the Giants side. One injury to keep an eye out for. Tyreek Hill is going to practice this week in a limited fashion, so he possibly could come back. One guy who is questionable and may not play this weekend, though, is Sammy Watkins, which means that if Tyreek Hill does play and Watkins does not, then that gives a big boost to guys like Mecole Hardman and Demarcus Robinson.
Marcus Robinson shown up for a couple of games, and he kind of slid back. He made that awesome one-handed catch. I believe it was a one-handed catch a couple of weeks ago.
No, he got Pringle.
They got Pringle. I like Pringles. Let's get physical.
That's gonna, I know we'll touch more on it later. Is the that Texans Chiefs game? I know we'll touch on it, or y'all touch on it Sunday morning.
We can touch on it now. I think that could be, dare I say it, a shootout.
Definitely.
I think it's bad news. Living in Houston, every game the Texans play, you just are like, crap.
Yeah.
So going up against the Chiefs, you want either Deshaun. First off, you start Deshaun Watson. I don't care who you are. Last year, it was like week one, like Clayton and I were laughing and be like, should I drop Deshaun Watson? It's like, it's week one. Shut up.
Drop him if you're in my league.
If people ask me, this is what I'm going to do, Chris and Clay and Pat and you. I'll tell y'all so y'all don't do it. But if people are like, after week one, should I drop this guy? I'm going to go, yes, it just looks bad. Just drop him. I'm not going to be like, no, you moron, it's week one. I'm just saying, yeah, man, you're smart. Do it.
Yeah.
Man, you've got good instincts. Just drop everybody, Because I'm tired of stupid questions, especially week one. But this is a game where the Chiefs might look to pounce on the Texans because they lost. So it's definitely going to be a shootout. Start everyone.
You gotta let me get ready for that.
I just thought of it myself. Hold on. Start.
No, I'm not ready. Keep talking.
If you got players on both teams, I'm saying to you, everyone play them. Chris, your thoughts on the Texans-Chief game? Is that going to be the high-scoring game of the week where we can see lots of points, or do you feel more the Arizona game?
Yeah, I think that there are a couple of games that I think should be higher scoring than the Chiefs-Texans game. I feel like right now that the over-under for this game is set way too high. It's currently at 55.5. And if I was betting on it, I would certainly take the under on this game. And I say that because both teams are actually fairly good against the pass right now. The Chiefs rank 8th in the league in pass defense DVOA, and the Texans are 15th. So I think that while, yes, you want to always start your studs, limit your expectations to both teams' pass catchers, because I think that it could be a lower scoring game than people are anticipating it to be.
One thing as a Texans fan and people, I'm sorry, Clay, Eric Fisher gets really dirty with JJ. Like, he goes for his knees. Like, I'm surprised he doesn't get fined for going after JJ because JJ's a superstar.
No.
I'm not saying because I'm biased. I'm just like, man, he really goes after JJ's knees all the time. And JJ complains. So, Clay, what are your thoughts?
I would take the over, I think. I could see both teams in the 30s. I think it's going to be high scoring.
Would you like to bet a beer 40 on that?
Yeah, I'll bet a beer 40 though.
Pat still owes you a beer 40.
The
All right, let's
Texans
do it.
secondary can't stop anybody. Chiefs aren't. These teams can't stop nosebleeds.
What is the over/under right now, Chris?
55.5.
Okay, are we locking that in? Are we going official like Sunday when like it might go down to 54 or up? Are we locking in 55.5?
Yes, let's lock it in.
in.
I'll take the under.
Oh, that's locked in.
Locked
it's
in.
a beer 40.
in.
If we do it, we will record it. We will put it on our YouTube channel. We will put it on our Facebook. We might do Facebook Live. Who knows what we're going to do. All right. Pat still owes Kennedy a beer 40 also.
I'm not going to owe him one. This game is... All I need is one team to put 40 up and the other one to
Put 15.
Yeah, 17. So
Well, if it's like 28,
Who's going to put
21,
up the 40?
who's going to put up the 40?
Is it here or Kansas City?
Oh, I think it's here.
I believe, Chris, you got it? I think it's in
I'm
Kansas.
sorry?
Is that game in Houston or Kansas City?
It's in
The
Kansas
Chiefs
City.
in Kansas City.
Oh,
then
yeah.
it's in Kansas City.
Oh, they're hanging 40 on Houston.
Kansas City. So,
Oh,
what
yeah.
up, Vinny? Vinny is becoming John Wick, Pat.
Yeah, I saw that. He's got
know,
he's got
man.
some cool stuff.
I know, Vinny's just shooting his way. Vince.
Oh, hey, guys.
FBI.
I'm
Wow,
gonna read a
I'm
question.
trying to do a warning here. Go ahead, Chris.
All right, so Dayton, welcome to the show. I have OBJ. Should I play him over Sutton this week?
Everybody's waiting for OBJ to do something.
Baker had a very bad game against the Niners.
I'm not trusting Baker right now.
Yeah.
I'm not. It's not necessarily OBJ. OBJ, obviously, he gets disheveled. I don't trust his decision making, but Baker's just not. He's not there right now.
Somebody said Baker Mayfield is Tim Tebow without the Christianity.
Yeah,
Damn.
Tim Tebow without. Have you seen the meme where like he turns into Johnny Manziel?
Yes, I saw that.
I don't.
I would.
I'm taking OBJ.
I'm
Who-
taking Sutton.
Who is Denver playing?
Denver's playing Tennessee.
Yeah, give me OBJ.
And OBJ is playing who?
It doesn't matter. Just give.
Doesn't matter.
OBJ is playing the Seahawks.
Seattle. Yeah.
All
Seattle.
right. So before
Go ahead.
before I take your answers, I'm gonna drop a stat for you guys. Maybe it'll sway your decision.
Nope.
Nope. But I'll listen. I
Perfect.
like stats.
All right.
I won't
sure,
listen. I'm gonna
anyway.
look over here.
All right, perfect. So Cortland Sutton is going to get matched up against Malcolm Butler of the Titans. And so far this season, Butler has allowed 25 receptions for 334 yards, 3 touchdowns, and has allowed a catch rate of 74%.
Yeah, Logan's been really great over there for the Titans at the other side of the cornerback. He's played very well. He's making
So
plays.
for those out there who did decide to listen to me, while I
No
would
one.
never recommend sitting somebody like Odell, if you're say you're under 500 right now in your league, you're not 4-1, or you're not in first place, second place, take a chance on Sutton. Maybe it'll swing things around a little bit. But if you are towards the top of your league, I would play it safe and go with Odell. But if you're near the bottom, take a chance on Sutton and see what happens.
And I honestly, to add to that, Chris, I love that take. But to add to that also, if you are one of those teams that's 0-5 or 1-4 right now, go to Fantasy Go. Go over to Fantasy Go. We're going to help you out. Let's see if we can still, hey, it's not too late in the season. We can still help you make that playoff push. If not, you can see the movements we make so you can make it next year for your teams. But it's not too late. Come to Fantasy Go, man. I'm telling you. Chris, back to you.
Perfect.
I know you didn't have anything. I just wanted to throw a pitch.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
I like OBJ.
I had nothing, but I appreciate
I know.
the swing.
I know.
I like OBJ. Eventually, he's gonna get used. Maybe this is the week where everyone, again, should I drop Chris Evans or Mike Evans? It's like, I think of Chris
Do
Evans
not
'cause
drop
he's got
Chris
the
Evans.
chair.
Whatever you do.
Because he's got
He
the
is
Captain
Captain
America chair.
Captain.
Vinny's saying the score is going to be 42-38 Chiefs, final score. So Vinny's taking the over.
Yeah.
Vinny, will you do the beer 40 if it's not over 55?
Yeah, is Vinny in on it with us?
Vinny is one of my oldest and best friends ever. I don't know if Vinny's going to be on it. Vincent Warbird Poteet. 42-38 Chiefs final score. Vince, will you do
Way to drop the middle name there, Jeff.
what? It's a bad. I like calling him that. Why don't you not tell me
No,
what to
tell
call
them.
my friends? Christopher Kennedy
You
knows
should
I didn't
call
give
him-
you.
I'm surprised you
Fuck.
have friends.
I know, right? I don't know how to do it, but Vinny's pretty messed up like me, I guess.
I don't even know my middle name though.
Nobody cares. That's why.
Eric.
Eric, we're gonna stop the show. Just start Aaron.
John. Jack. I'm going with Jack.
Christopher.
Wow. Dude.
Aaron. Adam.
It's not as common as my first and last name.
Well,
All right, so
nothing's
it's a
as
family
com-
name. I'll put it that way.
Laurinaitis.
Laurinaitis.
Eugene.
Eugene.
I nailed it.
It's Eugene. Christopher
That's
Eugene.
the best. All the
I have-
texters out there, if you're listening to this
I have
right
nothing against Eugene, but no.
Oh,
now, you seem like a Eugene. All the texters out there, please guess wildly.
hold on.
Chris Kennedy's middle name.
I know his girlfriend. I'm gonna message her on
Whoa,
Facebook.
whoa, hold on.
What is
Yeah.
Well, that escalated quickly.
Mortimer? But yeah, Dayton. I like OBJ. I just think OBJ. I think this might be the week where he gets off the schneid like Evans did that one game. I have nothing to prove that. I have nothing to say for it other than my gut instinct. And sometimes you got to go with your gut. I mean, we could tell you stuff, and we're 1 week we hit 92%. The stuff we gave you was 92% positive. If y'all would have followed those, y'all would have won that week. Sometimes it's just gut instinct, Dayton. I'm not gonna lie. We're not gonna lie to you guys about anything. because that's the trust we have with you, and we want you to have trust in us that we're not going to, lie or say something that we wouldn't do. As Pat says, we're giving you something that, we're saying this, we're probably starting these guys too. So I have OBJ in one league, and I'm going to start him. And, he's killed me. He's killed me all year. Because it's OBJ, I keep starting him and expect it, but I'm going to keep him in this week. If not, I'm going to cut him next week.
And it sucks because he's got a tough matchup this week. Going up against Shaquille Griffin of the Seahawks, I don't know if it's going to be any easier for him this week. Griffin right now is only giving up 134 receiving yards, only about 60% of targets going his way. So I would love to see Beckham put himself into a get-right situation. I don't know if this is going to be the week against a tough Seahawks defense, but at some point you think it does have to turn around because the guy is far too talented for it not to. But unfortunately, a lot of this lies on the shoulders of Baker Mayfield, who just is not looking his way, and he's targeting Jarvis Landry more than he is Beckham, which I can't figure it out for the life of me.
But the good news is Griffin only has one hand, so.
No, that's his brother who only has one.
I know. I'm just joking around.
I know. It took me a second. I was like,
those aren't coming up on mine, Pat.
No, they're not on mine either. Keep on.
Okay, because the last thing I got is Vincent Poteet giving the Chiefs' final score. So.
Oh yeah, I added that. That was a thank you to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. All right.
All right. Well,
All right.
actually, and Baker also looked like he likes to throw towards Antonio Callaway. But I think I'm going to bench him and put in old Teddy B.
Teddy Bridgewater.
I won despite Baker going -6 in our league.
Damn.
I still put up 204 points, but, it is what it is.
Baker needs someone to say he sucks, and he comes out and has a great game, and then the following game he will suck after the good game, and then someone will say it's a circle.
All right, maybe I'll message him every week and be like, you suck,
That's
Baker.
what I tried to do on Twitter to Leonard Fournette. That's what I did, Chris. I was like, oh, Mr. The NFL is easy. Hey, Mr. 3.9. And then, fans were getting mad at me for calling him out. Oh, he don't care about your fantasy football team. I was like, well, I know he doesn't, but I'm just doing this for my own game.
He cares.
Yeah, he's over there crying.
He's on his own fantasy team.
Yeah, he's like, damn. I'm upset
Exactly.
with Jeff in Houston. I got to pull it out. Get your head together, Leonard.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a T-shirts made that say, Fournette, get your shit together. You're getting dropped.
Yeah, right. Stop punching people when you come back from an injury-laden season. So, Chris, Teddy Bridgewater, good guy. We like him. Glad to see. Personally, I like him. I'm glad to see him actually get out there and play. Horrible injury up there in Minnesota. What are your thoughts on Bridgewater?
Minnesota.
No.
Yeah, so Bridgewater was kind of one of my sneaky starts last week that I was really happy that it ended up paying off. He was in a phenomenal matchup, going up against the Buccaneers, and actually the winner of the Millionaire Maker in DraftKings had Teddy Bridgewater as his starting quarterback. So guy starts Teddy Bridgewater, wins $1 million, so it worked out.
Nice.
I will say that, going this week up against the Jaguars, it's a little bit of a tougher matchup, a lot tougher than going up against the Bucs secondary. But I think that for Bridgewater, he's somebody he's definitely more of a game manager. So he's a guy you want to put in your lineups if the matchup is right. Up until last week, he hadn't thrown for 200 yards in a single game before last week's matchup against the Bucs. So I would tread lightly with the Jags. Bridgewater is, I think right now I have Bridgewater as my QB. 21 right now, right behind Andy Dalton.
That's a start. That's a start. You heard it from Chris Kennedy. Start him.
Start him.
Stream him.
You know what, Dayton DeLima, I agree with you. I saw that, and I really didn't keep track on that story because one, it's Richard Sherman, but Richard Sherman called him out about some make-believe handshake. But then there's video of him shaking his hand, where Sherman, who likes to shoot his mouth off, is
Pew, pew, pew. Yeah, but then he said he just barely slapped. It was a petty little hand
yeah,
slap.
but first he said he didn't shake my hand. Was a childish, or something like that. I'm like, look, let's talk about being childish, Richard Sherman. So, yeah, now he's saying it was a petty slap. Well, who cares, Richard?
Are the 49ers for real though? Are we gonna talk about that?
We got to talk about Breida a little bit.
Yes.
let's
Absolutely.
Telvin Coleman came back. Both him and what's his name? Your guy, Breida. Both of them look great.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a nasty.
That's a nasty
man.
1-2 or 2-1 or 1-1A, whatever you want to call it.
I told y'all, Kyle Shanahan's the truth. I've been saying it. I like Kyle Shanahan.
If Jimmy G would stop trying to hang out with porn stars, maybe he'll get his stuff together. Of course, they got.
Doesn't need to if they run the ball and play defense.
That's true.
Right.
Their defense showed up.
He
what's
got
his
paid,
name?
Jeff. He's good.
Bosa taunted him with the flag.
His face, Clay's face. He's just.
I sat Bosa in the sleeper league because he hasn't done crap all year, and all of a sudden, 15 points, getting sacks, 4 fumbles.
Brian Burns, man.
Yeah, you know
Brian Burns.
Brian Burns looked good for
you,
Carolina.
Nick Bosa. You're Joey's little brother.
Oh, Joey's little brother. But look, the Niners got the front seven. D Ford and name that shall not be mentioned is showing up. Devo Samuel, I think there's something there. And, of course, George Kittle's top 1-2 tight end.
Yep. Now, Chris, what is your take with Breida and Coleman and all that, man? How do you feel about that tandem over there?
Do you feel it's like similar to San Diego Chargers? I won't call them Los Angeles.
I refuse.
Are both of them going to be decent? What do you think?
That's part of their name.
What do you think, Chris, of Breida/Coleman?
So I'm a big fan of Matt Breida. I actually think he's a much better running back than Kevin Coleman is. But I think that's fine, regardless. The Niners right now in the league are ranking top 5 in rushing yards, rushing touchdowns, yards per attempt, and first downs. And then when you look at their defense on the other side, they're first in pass defense DVOA and 5th in run defense DVOA. So for a team that just hasn't gotten a lot of hype, they have really shown that they're playing with the big boys and that they are not this overrated team that people thought they might be. So the Niners are certainly the top team in the NFC.
All right, just in. Javier, we see your question. We're going to get to it, but we're going straight to Gino Petruzzi, cousin of great guitarist Dream Theater, John Petruzzi, actually. Trade offer just in, guys. Trade away Kamara, Singletary for Aaron Jones and Melvin Gordon. It is a PPR league. I say no. Kamara's dangerous out of the backfield. But I'll say it again. The music. I hope y'all can hear it.
Yeah.
It's the family feudus. Trade away for Chris and Clay. Trade away Kamara, Singletary for Aaron Jones and Melvin Gordon. PPR thoughts.
So this is what I would do. I would make the trade, and then I would immediately sell high on Aaron Jones's recent performance and try to get a better running back, because Melvin Gordon, I think, as the season. No, I think as the season progresses, you're going to see Melvin Gordon get back to the player that he was last year. You're not going to see those late season injuries in December like we've kind of seen the last couple of years, because he didn't play the first 4 or 5 games of the season. So I think Melvin Gordon will be fine going forward. I think he'll still be a top 10 running back. Aaron Jones is really going to be dependent on Jamal Williams and how that injury plays out, because if Jones isn't getting 15, 17 touches a game, he's not going to be very effective. So I would make the trade and then just try to flip Aaron Jones off of that big game that he just had.
Okay, or keep him. Then you got, whatever.
His roster's like already stacked. I don't think.
What do you think? Trade it away or no?
No, I think I'm just going to keep Kamara.
Because we did see his.
He has Chubb. He already has the other good running backs, Chris.
He has Cook, Kamara, and Chubb.
Oh, well then hell no. Hell no. Don't make that trade.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, you're stacked, bro. Like, you're basically trying to help another team get better.
That's it.
That's the key right there. Sometimes you don't make a trade. I know what you were going, Pat.
Go ahead.
That's for producer Pat was going to say this, but he's telling me to say it. So this is actually producer Pat's take. Sometimes you don't make a trade because you make someone else better. It's kind of like playing third base at blackjack, where like you don't take the hit when you're the last person at the blackjack table because you know the dealer's going to bust and everyone's going to win money. You don't make a trade for the league.
And sometimes them sitting on your bench does more damage to other teams. That's the way I look at it. People are like, well, you can only start 3. Yeah, well, that's one more that you don't get to start.
You can't start him, though.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. And if you just want to mess with him, say you got to mow my yard for like 3 months.
Yep.
Get them to do something like strenuous.
He got you 35 points on your pitch. Well, that's true, but that's 0 total on your team.
That's right. You're welcome, Gino. All right, let's go back to Javier. Question: respect, Gino. You damn right. I don't think Javier needs the.
He needs it.
Family. Okay.
He needs it.
All right, we'll go to you, Chris. What are your expectations on AJ Green, Chris? My good friend up there in the north, the only Yankee I like.
My expectations are this, or at least my advice for any AJ Green owners out there. If you have him, hold him, because you're not going to be able to trade him for any sort of equal value right now or any decent value at this point. Because right now all he has is his name, and I mean the guy hasn't played the first 6 weeks now going forward, so we don't know when he's going to return. It might be week 8. I know that there are trade rumors around. Maybe the Bengals might move him. He may be on waivers. If he's on waivers, pick him up. But if you have him on your team, just hold him, because he could be a wide receiver 2 flex option when he does come back from his injury.
Yeah, and he's going to come back. He's going to come back maybe for a playoff run. And AJ Green's probably the best wide receiver in the game. People probably don't talk about it. I mean, he's, if somebody says he's top 5, I'm not arguing with him. I'm like, he's a great wide receiver.
What hurts him more? Do you think Andy Dalton's hurting him right now?
I think turf toe.
Or
well, I mean that, but I mean, as far as kind of that, and I mean, and how do y'all feel about Tyler? Eifert?
I think what's hurting them is a bad offensive line.
Clay, you should have seen his face. He was so disgusted. No,
because you called him Eifert.
No, just because I said his name.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's garbage.
I think that offensive line is hurting everyone at that point. You're not even getting good running from Mixon, Chris.
Yeah, I think with AJ Green, the biggest thing that's hurting him right now, it's been the injuries. He's every other year he plays 16 games. So he'll play a full season and then he'll play 13 games, full season and then 10 games. So that's the thing that's hurting him. But when he's on the field, he's productive. He's a guy that's going to give you 15 yards per catch. He's going to get you 8-9 touchdowns a season, and then he's also going to give you over 1,000 yards receiving as well.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying if you have AJ Green on your team, hold on to him, because he will help you towards the end of the season, but don't count on him prior to week 8, week 9, maybe week 10. We don't know, because we don't know. Every single week his injury timeline keeps getting pushed back. So it's tough to put a number on it, but just hold on to him. It will work out in the end.
Yeah, and I also want to say special thank you to FantasyGo.com for sponsoring us. Really would love you guys to please go to FantasyGo.com. I believe it's a free trial right now.
Yeah, it's a free trial right now, and we're also doing during the free trial. It's fine, but also guys, go and join the DraftKings contest that we have going on. We're going to put up a link on our DynastyWise page, but go to it, join in, and after the free trial is over, we're going to give an analyst away basically a week to help you guys out.
Yeah, we're going to help someone. So,
well, I don't know if we should give it to the winner though.
Yeah, you're already good. Yeah, I got it.
You know what? Oh, it's all good. You know what? We'll pick someone, but you have to be in the contest to be selected either way.
Yeah. So go to our, obviously what page we're on, the DynastyWise Sports Facebook page. You'll be a DraftKings. Put in your lineup. It's free. Put in your lineup, hit enter, and you're done. But again, Fantasy Go, they're taking care of us. We want to take care of them, and that extends to you guys. Check them out. And like I say, you can if you like what Clayton says, you can hire Clayton as like Clayton's going to talk to you. I mean, you're not going to have to wait to hear Clayton on Wednesday and Sunday. You can talk to Clayton any day of the week, a couple of times, however many times, you all can be on. Patrick Padu, myself, Jeff M., and Chris K.
Yeah, and that's all brought to you by the brand new chat feature at Fantasy Go.
Amen.
Yes. What you're doing right now is you're chatting with us, guys.
We love you.
That's a big thing over there. Is we wanted to make sure we still had that dialogue between the teams so we could kind of break down and help you see why we choose what we choose.
Correct, Mundo.
Well,
hold
on, how did it?
Hey guys, I have some injury news I want to update you on.
Go for it.
Tom Brady's injured?
All right, so Todd Gurley missed practice with a quad/thigh contusion that potentially could keep him out of this week's matchup.
Or as Michael Scott says, a protuberance. But yes, man.
No, no, no.
Yeah, that's what a lot of fantasy owners are saying right
So
now.
just be sure
No,
to
God,
monitor
no, no.
Yeah, monitor this injury right now because from what Sean McVay was saying, is it kind of caught everybody off guard and by surprise. They didn't expect it. So if it is something serious, this could be something where those Darrell Henderson truthers, myself included, are really kind of crossing their fingers, hoping that something, with Henderson could work out.
Well, who's the guy that actually has been taking the
Brown.
Malcolm Brown? I think that's a really shocker to me that Henderson
he hasn't
wasn't
done
in there.
Since week 1. He hasn't done anything.
Says you,
Christopher.
Says the numbers.
Damn.
I don't believe.
Chris may lie, but numbers don't.
Look, I get your fuzzy math, but
Facts.
well, some facts. I'm sorry, I'm doing my AOC. Well, fuzzy numbers. I don't care. I'm just right. Don't worry about the numbers being right. I'm right.
It's a valid argument.
It is.
Because I know when I want to call it the Zach Stacy effect, man. He has 1 or 2 good weeks, and people get addicted, and they're like, "Oh man, that's all about it," And then, Gurley comes back in and kills it. I mean, I'm interested to see what Henderson can do.
Why is it a surprise?
What's that?
Like Chris said, that Sean McVay said, it was quite a surprise. It was like Gurley, walking around, like walk around normal. All of a sudden, he came in, surprise, bitches, and started limping. I mean, what happened?
Surprise, mother.
So, yeah, I think there's a lot of people wanting Henderson to get the ball. And, hey, maybe this week he does. Chris is a Henderson truther.
I love Darrell Henderson as well.
A lot of people did, man. He went very high in this draft because, Chris, I think Gurley really hasn't got the carries this year like we've seen. I mean, he really hasn't been that guy currently in the past. Of course, he's still Todd Gurley. He's putting up some points, but he's not really getting the carries and everything that we're used to.
No. So,
hey, Pat.
Just to kind of give you an idea of the lack of usage that Todd Gurley has had this year, I'm going to name off some players that have more touches than Todd Gurley this year. And those players are Carlos Hyde, Phillip Lindsay, James Conner, who else up here? Yeah, Chris Carson, Derrick Henry. I mean, these are all guys that have more total attempts and receptions than Todd Gurley does. And Todd Gurley was top 5 in the league in total touches since his rookie season. So
right.
the drop-off in his usage is pretty concerning.
Yeah, well, especially Carlos Hyde. I mean, the other guys you could almost say, well, Carson starts, those guys start, but Hyde is kind of that one that really shocks me, Chris, because they use Duke Johnson a lot down here, and it's Carlos Hyde. He's bounced around the league, but I'm glad he's here personally. Pat,
do you guys feel that that's because they're going to the air more? You got Robert Woods and the tight ends, and Everett's getting in the mix, and Kupp's obviously he's eating pretty good right now.
That's right.
Yeah.
Do you feel like because they don't have to go to the ground so much, or is it because they have to go to the air?
Yeah.
Their defense has been exposed in a couple of games.
Oh, yeah. And I think there is some truth to the arthritis in Gurley's knee. So I think they are basically he's on a pitch count.
How can you be that young and have arthritis?
Football.
Yeah, football.
He was,
football, dude.
I mean, think about it. Whenever you're talented as him, they probably wrote him in junior high school, college. Although his college team was pretty stacked.
I tell you what, though, high school is where it's really bad. There was a pitcher at Klein High who's promising career. He was pitching in the 11th inning. He'd thrown 200 pitches, and his dad come off the stands and said, "You're coming out of the game." So yeah. So, Chris, did you have any?
One game is not that important.
Yeah, and I don't.
Especially when you're going to college or major leagues.
But is there an argument to say that maybe that work is actually better for them because now they pitch less and there's more and more injuries? Back in the day, they would pitch more. Nolan Ryan, Nolan Ryan's an anomaly, but other guys would pitch a lot too, and then you didn't have as many as these shoulder, elbow. You give guys 6 innings, then you barely making it 6. Like Verlander, the last of the dying breed. Him, Cole.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you got your specialists now, your bullpen guys. You got your setup guy. Then you got your closer. You got your left-handed specialist guy to pitch to. You know.
But also, I think athletes maybe also overtraining. Like Gurley, they overtrain and kind of do stuff that's not really related to their football or anything like that.
That's true. Chris, take any final takes on Gurley?
Trade him.
No, that was pretty much it. I just think for me, somebody who was going in the early second round, late first round, fantasy owners are really going to hope that maybe the Rams start using a little bit more as they get deeper into the season and start making a push for the playoffs.
Yeah, see, I would use more Henderson just for that reason, just keep Gurley healthy for the playoffs. But who am I? I'm not Sean McVay. I'm not handsome.
We know, Jeffro.
Whoa. That's my lone howl.
He's lonesome.
They're all in agreement.
That's right. Anything else we want to discuss tonight? Anyone got anything?
No, I'm good right now, man. I know there's probably quite a bit more we need to get to, but we're going to try to get to a lot of that Sunday. I'm going to flash that up right now.
Wait,
Really?
don't flash
We're
them.
gonna do that?
That's how you get on one of those lists.
I'm
Matt.
off camera, bro.
Oh.
Yeah. Ah!
Don't flash us.
Yeah, he can do what he wants.
I got a surprise for you.
So,
Turn
Carolina.
the laptop around next time. Chris
Yeah.
wants to see.
Chris is drooling over there. So, Carolina, Tampa Bay. That could be a good game.
It's an early start. London.
Oh, thank you, Clayton.
London.
Y'all, look, we'll be on air, but if you've got...
Stay woke.
Look, obviously you want to start CMC. Samuels has been more of the guy than
This, like
DJ.
I said, Tampa Bay. And it's a divisional games are always just so different.
Yeah, they know each other, so it'd be high scoring or not. He would definitely CMC, Chris. Would you start Kyle Allen this game against Tampa Bay?
Yes.
No, I would sit Kyle Allen. The guy that I would absolutely start, though, is Curtis Samuel. In their first matchup earlier this season, the Bucs had a really hard time covering Samuel. Even though Cam missed him on a lot of throws, I think Curtis Samuel could have a really big game because he's shown that he's one of Kyle Allen's favorite targets.
But do you think Tampa Bay knows that they didn't do well the first game, so now they're going to really cover Samuels? I'm just
They're
kidding.
so terrible it doesn't even matter. If they can prepare all they want, it won't make a difference.
Vernon Hargraves is okay, though, right? He's an okay cornerback there for Tampa.
Yeah, he's like 5'8".
I mean,
Yeah, he is
he
like
used to be.
5'8".
This year he's given up almost 400 receiving yards and a couple of touchdowns. He's gotten burnt a lot.
The whole defense, I mean, they're in trouble. I'm starting Mike Evans.
There you go.
DJ Moore, y'all like him this game?
And that's actually who, yeah.
You said yes to DJ Moore? Chris? He said Samuels.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Wait, Samuel
Yeah,
or DJ Moore, Chris?
Moore
Stop
and
changing on the
Samuels
fly.
Let me finish.
Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry.
Swear to God.
Yes.
No. DJ Moore should be covered by Hargraves. But I also do like Samuels. If I had to pick between the two, I think Samuels is going to see more targets than DJ Moore will. But right now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are giving up 91 receiving yards to opposing wide receiver one. So it could be a get-right spot for Mike Evans this week.
Chris, what about Ray Caruth?
Amazing player, doesn't get enough hype. I really hope that he scores a lot of goals.
Goals? Hope he gets out of prison. On the other side of Tampa Bay, I'm thinking more Ronald Jones now is more solidified as the running back for Tampa Bay. Clay, Pat?
I'm starting to start. I'm beginning to start him.
Rojo?
Rojo?
Yeah,
Chris?
I was going to say, I didn't know who you were talking about at first. And then Clay said Rojo. I was like, oh, we're talking
Yeah,
about
Rojo.
Okay.
I forgot. My bad, Clay. Rojo over Peyton Barber,
Yeah,
Chris?
he's definitely.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, he's
Next
established
question?
himself as the premier running back now. And also the Panthers are one of the worst teams against the run. They rank 29th in rush defense DVOA. So I think Jones would be a great pick going against the Panthers front seven.
For all the Dumases out there, what is DVOA?
We know what DVOA is, but tell the people.
Oh, sorry. So DVOA.
Yes.
Perfect. So it is defensive value over adjustment.
Yes, correct.
And what that means is that it takes your actual, Jeff.
Yes.
What it does is it takes your actual statistics.
Did you want
and
something?
it adjusts those numbers by actual injuries, fumbles, strength of schedule, things like that. So it really is able to compare apples to apples and gives you a more accurate idea of how that defense is actually performing against, passing, rushing, whatever it may be, against certain receivers. It gives you a much more accurate number than what just going to NFL.com and looking at those statistics.
Right, and then sacrifice.
You know what I also like? The good old-fashioned eye test.
Just see if that guy just looks delicious.
Yeah.
That gentleman is.
Sometimes he does. You don't know.
Well, thank you, Chris, for that breakdown. I know some listeners might
People
have been
didn't know,
wondering.
but we knew. We knew over here.
Jeff didn't know.
I knew.
Jeff didn't know.
Chris, why don't you explain? Earlier, Chris, you said ROI. We know what ROI means. Why don't you tell the people what ROI means?
ROI just stands for return on investment.
Correct.
So
correct.
it's exactly.
Jeff
Thank
thanks you for that, Chris.
Yeah, I thank him for the people.
So
Also,
if I ever use an acronym or a term that I forget to define, just please let me know. And because you're also gonna hear me say AFPA a lot, which is adjusted fantasy points against.
Yes.
So that's also another advanced stat metric that I use a lot as well. So
and we use ROI a lot of times for running on empty, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's a given.
That
That's
means
pretty
time
standard.
for a beer 40.
Yeah, that's
ROI.
pretty-
Meet
yeah.
me out back.
Pretty standard. Running on
ROI
empty.
means meet me out back.
Running on empty.
Yeah. ROI, running on empty. All right.
See, that's pretty common.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's pretty common. I mean,
Yeah.
I was making sure
Right.
that all the listeners.
I was
knew.
making sure we're all on the same page.
What's up, Thomas?
What?
Thomas Shavaria.
The
So
one that,
Pat, are you running on empty then with that beer 40?
I
Oh.
already ran it, just so y'all know. I just I didn't have the video. That my neighbor's security camera didn't catch it. He was pissed.
Just a blur
Yeah.
going by.
But
and it was something about he was naked when he did it.
Yeah.
The whole neighborhood was.
apparently that's frowned upon.
Yeah, Sunday at 10 when people going to church, Pat's out there.
Go run. All you see is me going, woo! As I run by.
And you can't
Hide
be-
your eyes, kids. Hide your eyes.
Can't be within 100 feet of a school. So, I mean, you know.
Pat's got to move. Pat's a blue dot on your laptop
6
now.
months later, the law states that I have to inform you.
Hello.
Hello. You might remember me from.
Running by your house naked. Now I'm here to inform you.
No, I'm not the ShamWow guy.
Well, the last tourney, Thomas, I heard that you cheated, and I got second, so technically I'm first.
Well, we have a rule here at DynastyWise. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. And Fantasy Go is a way of basically cheating without cheating.
And you don't get in trouble for using Fantasy Go.
Bingo. Look, I'm telling you guys right now. If you're in a league and you have a guy that makes a jump out of nowhere, he's like, holy cow, that guy went from putting up 75 points, he put up 180, on his team. Guys, he's using Fantasy Go. I'm just going to go ahead. We're just going to go ahead.
Fantasy Go is where it's at.
Yeah, we're going to get in front of you.
Yeah, it's the site is a great site. So come there. Like I said, they got the new chat feature. You can talk to whoever your analyst is. If it's not one of us, it might be someone else. I don't know why, but it should be us. But
Hey, good job, Thomas. Good job, man.
his ROI for last tourney is nothing, zero. Shavari.
Actually,
Shavari.
Because everybody, it's a free contest. You can join the contest for free. Doesn't cost you a dime. You won't get any money in return. But we are trying to get you guys some really great prizes from us.
also, I wanted to ask you.
You do
Chris,
have bragging rights, Thomas.
Do you?
Yeah, bragging rights, absolutely.
Yes, Pat?
Chris, are we kind of doing something? Is it week by week, or are we kind of keeping a season tally, or are we just going week by week and whoever?
Weekly.
I know it's a weekly. I'm just saying I don't know if you were keeping something on the side because I want to keep track of kind of who wins each week and maybe who gets the wins or whatever. But we can go.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something that it's kind of just a week by week thing. I do have last week's rankings, so I can always I can keep them in line because the one thing with DraftKings is that we don't always necessarily know exactly who it is that's entering the contest because it just has their username and not their actual name. So,
Yeah.
I mean, like, for example, Raul, he has it's a picture of him with a Raiders hat. I know exactly who it is.
Yeah.
So it'll be like a week-to-week thing, but we'll always make sure that we give a shout out to the winner every single week, because whether you beat 3 people or 18 people, you
Which
still
I
win,
did.
and winning is winning.
Or 10,000, right?
I beat a lot of people.
That Nate.
Yeah, yes, you did, Jeff. Yes, you did. You're a big boy.
Look at him go. Look at him go. So proud.
To the dance. To the dance.
Own it. Make it true. That's it, Jeff. Make it your own.
That's all right. Make it my own.
I'm gonna give a T-shirt away one week.
Get a T-shirt away. Thomas is going to take bragging rights. Thomas won last week. I was second. I don't know who's third. Don't have it in front of me. Don't care. So
Brock Osweiler, you.
Brock Osweiler, you?
Yeah, he's gonna beam you in the head when you're a foot away.
Oh. Throw it at my feet? What?
Yeah.
You're going to miss me?
It's
I'm
good
not
move.
scared.
Hey, if you guys are sticking around, make sure you check us out Sunday morning, 9 to 11.
But we do want to remind you there's an early game. So don't come on here and say, hey, who should I start for Tampa, Carolina? We just gave that. Of course, CMC. Chris likes Samuels and DJ Moore. I believe, Clay, you like DJ Moore this week.
Go DJ.
We all like Ronald Jones.
Wait. No.
Not saying start him your primary guy, but I mean,
if
if
he's
you're
on
thinking
your roster and you don't have much of a choice.
Mike
because-
Evans, the weekly dilemmas, Mike Evans or Godwin. I think that's so hard to call almost. What do you say, Clay?
Well, I have Mike Evans, so Mike Evans.
Mike Evans for Clay. Chris, Mike Evans or Godwin? This is the hardest thing to call in fantasy football. Go ahead.
So this week it's actually not as difficult for me this week. I'm going to go with Godwin. He almost cracks my top 5 wide receivers this week against the Panthers. So I have Godwin at 6 overall, and then I have Mike Evans as he's 13th right now as my wide receiver. So he's just outside the top 12.
Right. And O.J. Howard hurt his hand catching a home run ball by the Tampa Rays yesterday. That's not true, but he did catch one. He did catch the home run.
I was like, damn.
I was like,
Yeah.
are we serious? Like that's
No,
real?
he caught a home run. Did you see him catch the home run though?
I did. Oh,
yeah, he one-handed it.
Oh,
O.J.
yeah.
Howard reached out one-handed ball.
That was
But-
a hell of a grab.
I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that.
It's nice to see him finally catch something.
Yeah.
Nice to see something going his
I don't
way.
know if that's true or not. I just wanted to say it because it was there.
Yeah, it was perfect. It was.
Thank you, Thomas. I did have a great lineup. Godwin every time from our friend of the show, Thomas Chevrolet.
Man, I want.
Chevrolet. I think he should be named after Cologne.
put it-
I
Godwin.
guarantee that guy's got some Spanish hips.
I bet you he cut a rug.
Do that guy?
Why are you thinking about his hips?
Why not? Why aren't you thinking about his
I
hips?
didn't want to go into detail on it on the air, but if we're gonna do this, let's do it.
Because his name's
All right,
Thomas Chevrolet.
See, it's because oh God, Jeff, stop it! Every time he does it, man, he makes me go 6 to midnight when he says Shivari.
Thomas, you're welcome.
Yeah, there you
Welcome
go.
for that.
Shivari is the man of the hour,
It's like,
folks.
just like, geez, you smell great. What are you wearing? Chevrolet. You should have a cologne, dude.
Seriously, that would be a good call.
With a dancing guy as the symbol.
Bingo.
With the
I'd wear it.
hips like
we
swung
get half
out.
the profits.
Yep.
TM.
Oh,
It's
see,
a good thing we can't see Pat on camera.
I know.
Yeah.
We just
it-
TM'd
it
it,
is
Thomas. You
wa-
can't do it now.
It is wildly inappropriate. Mr. Kennedy.
Chevalier.
I like how Let's Get Physical is on while we're talking about this as well.
Thomas Chevalier. Cologne. And it can't be for the manly man. It's for the man who, wait for it, lusts.
It's for the man who just left your house.
Oh.
Oh snap!
Oh, we're ending the show on that. We're going to have to get Thomas on. He can drive out here. He can drive from Mississippi. I believe he lives in Mississippi.
Really? Or do you just make?
I believe
I don't
that.
think that's correct.
I don't think it's correct, but I believe
I think
it.
Jeff just likes to throw stuff out there.
I like to just say things.
Like he had a girlfriend once. We all know that's not true.
She lived in Canada. But a polar bear ate her. So she right before she was getting on the plane to come, we were going to show everybody.
She was best friends with Manti Te'o. Yeah.
She was best friends with his girlfriend.
They double dated. Chris.
Yeah, Manti and I double dated. We obviously sat in the front seat. The girls were in the back.
Take us out.
All right, folks, we've had a fun night. We want to thank you for being here. Of course, we'll be on Sunday. Remember to check your bye weeks, look at your injury report, and remember that early game. We want to thank you people for being here and supporting us. We love you. We want y'all to go check out fantasygo.com. Great place. They now have the chat feature up. If you need help with your Yahoo Fantasy League, we're going to help you out. Go there anyway. Sign up because they're constantly – David is a great guy. He runs the show there. Great guy. He's always looking to improve, even though it's a great site now. He's just – I mean, he's a perfectionist. He's always trying to improve, always asking. So go there, get your voice down. It says don't punch the button. Dang it. And then, of course, the great Chris Kennedy, DFS expert. I know I joke around, but, yeah, he just got first out of 10,000. So, I mean, that's – I don't have to say that's impressive. That's very impressive.
I think he cheated. He went to
Chris,
Fantasy Go.
Chris, where can they find some of your articles, man?
Yeah, so every week I do come out with a wide receiver cornerback matchup report over at thefantasyheadliners.com. It's usually posted every Thursday or Friday, but you can also follow me on Twitter at ChrisKennedy318.
Right, and don't forget our daily fantasy. You can join us. It's free to enter. Chris has set it up. It's on the DynastyWise Facebook sports page. DynastyWise Sports Facebook page. Go there. It's free from DraftKings. You can join us. Clay, where can they find you?
Houston, Texas.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Oh, sometimes I log into my Twitter at DynastyWise Clay. No, if you message me on Twitter, I will get it and I will respond. And mainly, DynastyWise_LLC or.
Right, DynastyWise_LLC is the main Twitter. We're doing our best to check it. We're working hard to get your sit-em stardoms throughout the week so we can really help you out Sunday. And Pat, they can find you
at DynastyWise Padu.
DynastyWise Padu. Check out Fantasy Go. Sign up for DraftKings. We're going to give winners prizes. Not you, Thomas. But
this week they can win a date with Chris.
They can win a date with Chris. If you can get up to Martha's Vineyard, you can date Chris. He's a handsome man who looks
and
like.
You can't put a price. You can't put a price on that.
Oh, I
true.
probably could, but no. But yeah, check us.
Loose change. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, all right, folks. Hey, thank you for being with us. Thank you. Hey, you entertain us as much as we hope we entertain you. Be here Sunday morning. We're going to have the great Chatter, the Chad Man, the Mad Chatter, be making his Wolfpack appearance. He's the guy that told you to take Andrews over Hayden Hurst, and looks like he was right when they both came out as rookies. So we're going to bring in the Mad Chatter. I call him the walking sports encyclopedia because he knows names. Go Tribe. He's a Tribes Astros fans. We week to week, folks. I'm sorry. But,
over and out.
But yes, we will see you Sunday at 9 a.m. Central Time. Thank you for being here.
You